Hello and welcome into this Wednesday's edition of Movie News here at MBE. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. I am one of your co-hosts, Stephen John McLaughlin, the other co-host here, the man with a finger on the pulse. It's John C. Walsh. How you doing, John?
I'm just looking at you, Stephen. You look incredibly tired on that monitor. Your eyes are fucking
nipping out my napper, as
it's
we
like the
say.
Cartoon.
Yeah, I was up
Like
pretty
Disney
early
era?
today and I didn't really get much sleep. It was one of those nights. Don't know
dear.
what that was all about, but I'll make up for it. I'll catch up with it.
And
It
I'm
might
on
have been
paracetamol for a
excitement.
sore head.
Yeah, it'll come to you as well, John, then. But it could have been the news that dropped late last night. Now, you may have noticed there was no solo show last night because John was working like a dog on editing.
There was no news
Yeah, there was
until
no
there
news.
was.
Yeah, and I sent all this over to John. John, have you heard the news? Have you seen the tweet from Ryan Reynolds? Eventually, you did pick up the messages and you went, WTF.
Yeah.
In so many words.
I don't get notifications of Messenger. And I really have to address it because Stephen could be sending me like some earth-shattering fucking
I
thing.
could be saying to you, John, I'm getting followed by some guy in a Michael Myers mask. Help me, please. Help me. And I'd be
You're
dead by the
fucking
time
dead by the time I
yeah.
see it. You're lying
Yeah.
on the ground.
But I'll take that to my grave. And I'll
Flatlining.
know that you would check your messages later on when it was too late. But yeah. Anywho, we're talking about Deadpool 3 and we're talking about the MCU's Wolverine character as well. Now, we've headed this up. Will Deadpool 3 damage the legacy of Logan? Obviously, the main title mentions
Yeah, we
Wolverine
have
as
to
well.
put 2017
Yeah.
in there just to state that it's not the fucking character.
It's not the character we're talking about, of course.
It's the movie.
It's the movie and it's the actor we're talking about tonight.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone comes in and says,
Thespian.
no, it doesn't, because Logan was situated in 2029, so this is taking place. We know that, we get that. And if you follow our news show, you'll know that we've been talking about the excitement from both us guys of Wolverine coming back into the MCU in some shape or form in the future, maybe 10 years from now. But for
Hugh
now,
Jackman, no less.
Hugh Jackman is back. That is the news, of course.
He's back.
He is back with a bang.
Guess
And
who's back? Back again. Jackman's back. Tell a friend.
guess who's back. But
Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
obviously we'll get into how we feel about it in a moment, but obviously we're talking about the legacy of Logan 2017 movie, Hugh Jackman's farewell to the character after almost 20 years playing the character, the emotional end to that film as well for the fans and for the actor, who was very emotional leaving as well. He left with Patrick Stewart. Both of them agreed they were never coming back. How are you feeling about that, Paddy? But anyway, John,
Busy slagging off James Corden somewhere. You know, about a belly.
You don't do that. You don't do that. Even to him, you don't do that.
He's a
You
fucking
don't
stand-up
attack
comic.
a comedian. You don't do that. A so-called comedian. But
yeah.
anywho, I still agree with Patrick about that. But anyway, yeah.
But Steve, yeah, well,
Yeah.
it damaged the legacy of Logan 2017.
Emotional damage.
Yes, tragic and sad events. We're all shocked and stunned.
John, 2017 in the cinema. My wife and I, your sister, were sitting in the theatre.
My sister.
And she was crying at the end of it. Actually, crying. And I think I was close to it as well because I knew this was the last time we were seeing Hugh Jackman in this role. Legendary role. He made a legendary role as well. But we knew, obviously, the character would come back. Maybe we'll get the 5-foot version of him in the yellow suit at some point with another actor.
Taron Egerton.
Yeah. But this is where we're at. He's came back. He's in this film, Deadpool 3, which comes out, I think, 2024, they're saying. I'm looking forward to it. I'm delighted to see him back, of course. But it's how will we look at Logan in the future, John? How will we look at that ending? Now, we made some examples as well, didn't we? The other things that they can't just leave things alone, you know, and that seems to be a thing that's been happening for the best part of maybe 20 years, where you're going back and changing things about in Star Wars, or one of our favourite series from the UK, Alvida St. Pet, came back after 16 years, which should have probably been left untouched, some might say. I don't agree with that because I loved, obviously, Bill Nye.
Yes.
I was glad to see him in that season. But things like that, you know what I mean? How do you feel about this, John? How do you feel about this announcement?
Steve, first and foremost, delighted to see that Hugh is coming back. I'm not going to lie. I was over the moon with the announcement. Very shortly announced after D23. It wasn't an expected thing from me. I wasn't expecting that kind of earth-shaking news coming out. What is it, like 2 weeks out from D23, the sort of flagship Disney convention where they drop these kind of fucking perils on an anticipated sort of crowd packed to the rafters, ready to fucking lose their minds. We've seen the likes of John Campea, who paid a lot of money to go and take in D23, who was shook to his core, very unhappy, never going back to another Disney organised event again because of the lack of news that was announced. I think we got something about fucking the Werewolf TV show, which is apparently great, by the way. Things like that. What the fuck's it called? Thunderbolts? Is that what it's called?
Thunderbolts.
Think so. Sort of anti-heroic Avengers B sort of movie we're getting with Sebastian Stan and obviously David Harbour and the other actress whose name's eluded me, Florence Pugh. That was the sort of zenith of the news coming out of that. He was very unhappy about it. A lot of fans who had attended, who had watched it perhaps looking for news like this, were very unhappy. You fast forward a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it's Ryan Reynolds releasing this news on his YouTube channel. You're not fucking expecting it, but Stephen, it's the best way to do it, because this, to me, that is symbolic, the way that news was revealed. This isn't like your other MCU properties. Not only will it be rated R, it's confirmed straight from the horse's mouth, Kevin Feige. This is definitely going to be an R-rated, exceptional movie for the MCU's sort of tone, multi-demographic, usual stuff. Not only is it going to be rated R, but this is very much Ryan Reynolds' baby. He's always had a huge creative control over this character. Wade Wilson, the melt with a mouth. With 2 directors, I think he worked even more hands-on in the second Deadpool movie. And we know he's been trying mightily to get Hugh Jackman on board, working with him. And with this back and forth, kid-on feud for about fucking 6 years now, probably since Logan. And it's been absolutely epic, some of the stuff they've been doing. Fake adverts, fake disses. We were talking about the Christmas one. Was it Taron Egerton that was in that?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal was in it, the Christmas jumpers.
Yeah, that was a good one.
2 very funny guys, 2 very different kinds of guys. And we'll get into that, I'm sure, the possibilities for this movie moving forward, how they can implement Hugh Jackman into this movie, how they can make it work structurally as a movie, these 2 different guys come together. But the fact he announced it, Stephen, on his YouTube channel, that's symbolic to me. That tells me even now, even though it's been acquiesced into the MCU under Kevin Feige's all-seeing, all-hearing control, it's still very much Ryan Reynolds' project.
Do you think Patrick Stewart's appearance in Doctor Strange 2 had maybe something to do with it in terms of the 2 persons? Because they both agreed that we would finish together. He came back, and now obviously Hugh Jackman's back as well. Just in terms of the previous phases of MCU, John, and in terms of the tone of Deadpool 3, it's very strange that, you know, the first 2 to 3 phases of the MCU was very contained and, how would you say it, a formula that they wouldn't adjust or break or anything like that. They kept the humour at the same sort of level until Guardians probably came along. But even
that
then,
was a transformative movie.
You know, it still was. It's still contained. You know, since the Multiverse of Madness, or even maybe No Way Home, came out, it's just opened up all these other possibilities for different tones. She-Hulk's doing the breaking the fourth wall thing, John, I've noticed. Obviously inspired by Deadpool, doing that first when it was a Fox property. And I think you're absolutely right. We're at the point now where they've kind of unchained a lot of the franchises and the properties within the franchise, I should say. And I think we're at the stage now where maybe 3-4 years ago we were thinking Deadpool just wouldn't sit right in the MCU.
No.
It just wouldn't feel right. And we talked about this, John. It does now. It certainly does now. And it's probably as well, we talked about Hugh Jackman's missing the boat with the MCU coming in when he was just ending
like
his
2 ships passing in the night.
You know, but gladly we're not in that position now. The time now, Vinny, is
sponsored by Acrist, is 10:39. That's an in joke for people from probably 30 years ago. you'd phone up a number. What was the number?
I think it was 123.
123.
Yeah.
The time sponsored by Acrust will be.
You're probably looking at
40.
my eyes and thinking it must be 4 a.m. His eyes are nipping out his nut.
I'm bright-eyed,
it's not.
bushy-tailed. Eyes are fucking.
Maybe I
dead.
need to wear my glasses more often, John. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, Stephen, look, you're right. Deadpool, Wade Wilson, definitely. He still is a strange fit for the MCU, but I think now, in the strange times we're experiencing multiversal concepts, we can find a way to fit him in. And also with the breaking of the fourth wall with She-Hulk and stuff like that, and the humour changes we've seen with the likes of James Gunn and Taika Waititi, it's certainly readied it. It's oven baked for his arrival. To quote some strange, overweight, blonde buffoon who was a former Prime Minister of our country, oven baked. How did that work out? Not very fucking well, clearly, looking at the economy. But that is a complete other topic that I daren't touch upon. We're staying away from that shit. That's depressing. This is euphoric news. But we'll tinge it with some slight apprehension, I'm sure, when we speak about the legacy it may have on a great movie. And it was a great movie. But first, I'm just going to agree with Stephen. I think the introduction of Deadpool, Wade himself coming into this universe, is going to be epic. Absolutely fucking epic. It's multiverse. I've no doubt they will explore the concept of this multiverse with his introduction, and it will be used as an explanation for Logan's appearance in the MCU. We know that Patrick Stewart's variant of Xavier that we've seen in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness isn't the same one we've seen in the Fox X-Men movies. He's this Illuminati figure. He's a variant, a different version of a character. Obviously, he's clearly from the same universe as the Fox fucking universe, because it ain't the new guy that's going to be playing potentially Giancarlo Esposito, but he's different. And they'll explain it off with this, Stephen. This will be a variant of Logan. This won't be the Logan we knew and loved, who was telling guys to fuck off, who was stabbing people in his sleep, who had the euphoric highs and the crushing lows, ending with Logan.
John, you talked
It's
about
not going to be the same guy.
That go fuck himself thing from X-Men First Class, and that brings me to my next question.
Epic, wasn't it?
As good as it was, I wanted more. Yes. I always want more Logan.
What one was that? Was that Days of Future Past?
First Class, I think it was.
Class,
I think it was when they were recruiting. Both Charles and Eric were
fucking
recruiting.
great days, by the way, man. I long for those days, I really do.
They were fantastic
I had
films.
long hair.
I did like those films.
I'd passed my licence.
Yeah.
I was still a young man.
10, 11 years ago.
Yeah, those were good days.
But the question is, John, his appearance, obviously in that film it was a cameo, it was a one-liner. How much screen time do you think Wolverine's going to get in this film? Just your guess, really, because we don't obviously know the plot or anything like that.
I think he's going to have a huge role. I do. I've actually got an article up here, I'll bring it up briefly, where they ask these kind of questions. I'm not going to linger on it too long. That was basically him kind of doing a jokey video with obviously Hugh Jackman. Yeah. Addressing some of these things. Logan still very much dies in Logan.
And their great idea for the plot was great.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Just a shame about Jitterbug fucking blowing it all out. It's tragic, isn't it? Almost like it was manufactured. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But they ask us a question here. They actually go through stories from the comics we want to see in Deadpool 3. I'm not really bothered about that. The one that's more pertinent to your question there, Stephen, is this one here. Are they still using the Deadpool Wolverine buddy road trip idea? Stephen, you speak about things that just wouldn't work in any other MCU movie. A mismatched buddy concept I don't think would work with any other combination of characters. You could say to a degree maybe James Buchanan and Steve Rogers, it could maybe work, but they're quite samey. Yeah. They're slightly different, but they're samey. These two guys, we spoke about it, brilliant chemistry, been jabbing at each other jovially, if that's the right word, for years now. But two totally different personalities, two totally different characters. You mention it, go fuck yourself. Rough around the edges, very serious. And then you've got Deadpool, who's literally sitting on fucking gas canisters. His head's getting blown off. He's singing to the camera. He's just fucking wacky. He's on steroids. He's totally different. I can't think of a better concept than this. Utilising these two, it's like some strange multiversal thing. It brings these two guys together. they're poking fun at each other. They're poking fun at that original Deadpool, who of course popped up in a fucking Wolverine movie. I'm sure he did, didn't he? It was Wolverine Origins.
Yeah. He didn't have the suit or anything like that, but it was Wade Wilson.
Yep, it was Wade Wilson.
It was that kind of mishmash of. It was like a mutant, wasn't it? At the end, it was his creator. I think it was maybe his father. I can't remember.
Fucking his ass.
I remember the fight they had on the chimney.
Yeah, oh god.
With Wolverine's brother. It's terrible.
What was the name of that guy? The guy that played the adversary in that, the villain. I always forget his name. It's a Russian name. Liev Schreiber.
Liev Schreiber. Yeah.
Fucking Russian. I'm talking shite. Yeah. But Steve, I think they'll have a sizable role. Obviously, Wade's going to have a sizable role. It's fucking Deadpool 3. But I genuinely think they'll bring him in. He'll have some sizable role in this movie. It won't be a go fuck yourself. I don't think it'll be under a minute. It's not going to be a cameo used to draw punters in and then ultimately disappoint them. We've been looking for these two to collab for a long time. It's been on the cards for a long time. And it kind of solves the issue of when do we get Wolverine in the MCU? We may have to wait 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years for the new version to come in.
Well, this is the
so this fills in that little gap. It's like a little appetizer.
This was the thing that we were talking about not that long ago, was they need time to pass and heal and move on before they introduce the new characters, because the characters that played them previously are leaving a big shadow, and they're kind of using up some of that time by bringing Hugh Jackman back in terms of when they're going to reintroduce a variant of Wolverine, whoever it may be playing him.
Who's
maybe
the
7,
villain,
10 years down the line. I don't know.
Who is going to play the villain in this?
Yeah.
Because if you've got two, I mean, we speak about Wade, he is a jokester, but he's a powerful character.
He gets the job done.
He gets the job done. You've got he's stylish, he's cool. He gets the job done. Wade Wilson's jacket. You've got him, you've got Wolverine now. These are two very powerful characters.
Yep.
One maybe more so than the other, but powerful characters. That's going to necessitate a big villain.
Yeah.
So who's going to play the villain in this movie? That's what I want to know. Will we see the other versions of characters make the jump from Fox to the MCU? Cable, played by Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Your silver guy, I forget his fucking name, Russian character. The Lucky character, I think it was Zazie Beetz.
Yeah.
Will we see these characters make the jump over to the MCU with them? Because if we don't, then it's really landing even more so on this mismatched buddy potential concept for this movie.
Do you think the sort of tone and connections between Deadpool 3 and the previous two films will maybe a bit of a jump, John, or do you think they'll try and keep it as consistent and the continuity going throughout the third movie, or do you think they'll just move away from those first two movies?
Well, it depends on whether we're bringing these other characters back, Stephen. But
I mean tonally, John. I mean,
but my hunch is
swearing and
I think we'll still see swearing. It's got to be. It's R-rated. It may be slightly toned down, because long term, even though I've said Kevin Feige's treating this as an exceptional circumstance, the character of Wade, Deadpool, obviously, I can't envisage them going that route for multiple movies for the next 10 years. If he's going to be a mainstay in the MCU outside of his own movies, they're not going to have that R-ratedness coming in to other Disney movies. If they're just keeping him separate somehow, and it's going to be cameos from other... You
noticed the shift and change in tone in Steve Rogers' character, John, when he was inserted into an Avengers film. The same treatment for him wasn't the same as it was for like the Winter Soldier or Civil War or anything.
He was
like
dumbed
that.
down.
Yeah,
he was definitely.
And that's what you've got to avoid with this character, because it would be more jarring, I feel, if Deadpool was put into an Avengers movie or something like that, and it was a totally different director and writer coming in and saying, no, we want to do this. He's got to fit in with the tone of the film rather than the tone of the character.
And he's saying,
you can't do that with him. Yeah, you just can't do it with him. You just can't. It looked too jarring. Yeah,
things like that. He's made
bunghole.
Bunghole, made up swear words. I don't know how they're going to tackle that, Stephen, in terms of bringing him fully into the MCU. But for this movie, I think it will be more of the same. The fact you're using Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who's also known for profanity, swearing, no nonsense, it's a perfect match. It really is. I'm looking forward to seeing these two characters on the screen. It's going to be absolutely epic.
In terms of appearance, John,
I said to you, Stephen, briefly before I let you again, man, this has got the potential to be the greatest MCU fucking movie ever if it hits off. I'm genuinely serious about that.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot to
Let-
beat no Way Home, but
It genuinely could be the best though if they get it bang on, the story, the tone, the hilarious stuff going on between these two. It could be
I
the
do
greatest
agree with you
fucking
though. I
ever.
don't think it's going to be a cameo. We talked, I think it was this time last year in the build up to No Way Home, we were talking about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's appearance, and we were kind of saying it's all or nothing for us anyway. If you look back in our videos, that's what we said. It's all or nothing. We don't want cameos from these two. If you're going to get them in, doing it right, because it's the last chance you'll get. And it's the same with Hugh Jackman. This is going to be the last chance we'll get to see him playing that character finally for a final time. In terms of appearance, John, for the Wolverine character, how do you think he's going to appear in this film? Do you think we'll finally get to see him in that mask, sort of winged mask with the yellow suit on, or do you think it will be classic Hugh Jackman Wolverine?
Oh, Stephen, though, anything's a possibility.
Or maybe a wardrobe change every
Anything
every
that
half
can
hour.
allow Wade to poke fun at him will be on the table.
We'll get the yellow
We'll
suit.
get the yellow suit, and he may even be shrunk. You remember Deadpool 2? He loses his legs and he grows them out, and the tackle's out as well. This is what Ryan Reynolds does in these movies, so anything's on the table. Anything is a possibility. We could see a sort of Lord of the Rings-esque Hobbit shrunken Hugh Jackman with a yellow suit on for a scene, just so they can fucking point and laugh at it. Nothing is off the table with these two guys, because I don't think Hugh takes himself so serious that he wouldn't do it.
No.
And we know that Ryan Reynolds is well up for taking the piss out of himself, so if he can do the things he did to himself, laughing at Green Lantern, laughing at the previous Deadpool appearance,
Ryan Reynolds as well,
he's going to
John.
do it to fucking Hugh Jackman.
You think back to his early career, what was your thoughts of him when he was
Fucking
first
hated
breaking? You hated
Fucking
him.
hated him. He was like Hugh Grant,
American
Leonardo
Hugh Grant.
DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I fucking hated him, Stephen.
Yeah, it was the type of films they were doing, wasn't it? They were playing safe.
Yeah, like rom-com, pish. This is why I'm not in the same. I'm not singing from the same hymn sheet as the likes of Meg Ryan. They want to go back to the halcyon days from the 1990s, all these rom-com movies, and no, get them to fuck. I much prefer what Ryan's doing now. The guy has transformed over the last decade. He's so funny, so charismatic. The antics between him and his wife are unreal, man. What a couple.
Media,
just incredible partnership they've got. He's hugely successful, Stephen. He's done so many different genres. Hugely successful entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Wrexham,
movie,
Aviator Gin, the fucking mobile service. Mobile, as other people would like to call it. So the guy has really pushed the boundaries, and he deserves the success he's getting. Just for this alone, Stephen, to have the balls to come back to this character and push it and take it off in the direction he did, leaking it out there so it would be green lit, continuing doing what I felt was impossible, and I may be wrong, some people may disagree with me, I think I'm right though, because it's my fucking opinion, beating it in the second movie. I thought the second movie was even funnier and even better than the first Deadpool, and now he's getting that challenge again, and probably more pressure with bringing Hugh Jackman in to do the same top whip. But as I keep saying, if we can get this right tonally, if they can nail the script, and I've got huge confidence they will, this could be the greatest MCU movie ever made. I genuinely believe that, because Wolverine's such an epic character, Hugh Jackman's such an epic fucking synonymous with this character, and it's the same with Wade Wilson and Ryan Reynolds. The two sort of, the immovable object meets the unstoppable force. If we can get this right, it's a mismatched buddy movie. The villains there, it could be absolutely fucking epic.
13 years since we saw both of them in the Origins movie, and it's 5 years since Logan. So I think it's
we need to get back to Logan. We need to
Yeah.
get back to Logan, because that is the headline of the show. Could it damage the legacy of Logan though, Stephen? We've not even really discussed it. Stephen, Logan was an epic movie. You discussed it. You were at the theatre and seen it. I don't know, did I go to the theatre and see this movie? I don't think I did. I think I was late to the party on that one again. I've got a strange relationship with those X-Men movies. I went and seen the likes of Days of Future Past, First Class, the early ones, but I sort of drifted away. Even now, I've seen I've not seen Apocalypse, but I've seen Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix is terrible.
It was fucking dreadful.
That's a
Dreadful
terrible
movie.
film.
It was like 3 movies put together.
Yeah.
It was like, what would happen if, I presume, an acid trip went wrong with a director.
Let's have a go at men again.
Yeah.
You're
But
absolutely
Logan, undoubtedly one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. So dark, like a gritty western. The concept of the dementia side story thing with obviously Charles Xavier as someone who's witnessed the effects of dementia twice with elderly relatives, also your grandfather as well, Stephen. We've both seen the effects that has on the individual, on the family looking after, and just delving into that, having the balls to do that with such a legendary character, that was just alone
and Stephen
perfect.
Merchant as well.
Stephen Merchant was great.
Yeah.
Just a brilliant story, an Oscar-worthy movie, and the perfect ending.
Antagonist was your man from Predator, wasn't it? The film Brooke. I can't remember his name.
I see his face.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
He was like a scientist, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was the only thing I didn't like about the film. But in terms of legacy,
and
John,
obviously you've got the young character X. What was it, 24 or something like that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think we'll see her again at some point. In terms of the legacy, though, John,
Epic
in terms
movie,
of the character and where they sit, we get Logan was set in the future anyway, so it doesn't affect the storyline.
Yeah, we're not talking about that though.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about getting back to that film now. I don't think it's going to. But would it have the same impact after watching it a first time anyway? Seeing that emotional scene, would you get that emotional again? Seeing it again, John? I don't know how you feel about that, but I don't get the same feeling I did the first time or the second time round as I did the first time.
No.
So in terms of that, I don't think so. But just having the memories of that first time watching it and the emotions of watching that end scene, I'm dying. Spoiler alert if you've not seen it.
You shouldn't be here.
It just was. It was a unique experience that you can never repeat.
It's a character as well, Stephen. The character was impenetrable. He couldn't die. He regenerated. He was stuck in this life of perpetual sort of living all these conflicts. A tortured soul. And to see him go out that way, it was just perfect. It was poetic. He went out with his friend who had changed his life, had made him believe that he could be part of something greater. It was a beautiful story, and it was a fitting end for him. And just the fact he was getting on in years, not to say he's old, he's not old even now, he's still a young-ish man. He's only in his early 50s, he's got fucking years left in his career, in his life. But the dedication that goes into keeping that body, we're speaking about the physique, it takes an enormous amount of sacrifice in the diet and the regimen to build that body and keep that body.
Yeah.
And as he was getting on, it was becoming harder and harder to motivate yourself to get back into that shape. So the fact that he's decided to come back, put the work in to get back into that shape, he's never been in bad shape.
And he's not in bad shape, I was just going to say that.
Just getting back into that shape, it shows you that he means business. He ain't going to do that for a fucking cameo. And there must be something special on the horizon with this script. It's not just on a whim to help out his friend Ryan Reynolds. That's not the way this guy's going to roll.
No.
The fact, I'm going to flip it, Stephen, will it damage your legacy? It could potentially damage your legacy because it's a perfect ending, much like Steve Rogers, constantly talking about Chris Evans coming back.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Perfect fucking endings for those characters in this MCU. Robert Downey in particular, just greatest transformation of a character. I mean, you could say Michael Corleone in one movie and you'd be right. But in terms of 11, 12 years of storytelling, that's one of the greatest cinematic transformations. You wouldn't want to bring Robert Downey Jr. back on a whim.
No.
Or just bring him back and it's cheap and it ruins what came before. You wouldn't want to bring Steve Rogers back. Well, not only because you're going to shit on Tony Mackie and his version of the character, but what came before, it was a perfect ending. He went off, he spent time with Peggy Carter, he went back to his young life that he'd lost. He'd sacrificed to be the sort of super soldier Captain America, the greatest human.
The other franchise we were talking about, John, was Star Wars in terms of Grogu. At the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, such an emotional scene, and I don't mean the Luke Skywalker stuff, I mean the stuff after that, where the Mandalorian obviously takes his helmet off to reveal his face for the first time to the character, and just that parting of ways. Flash forward a year,
and he's back with him.
Book of Boba Fett, the one episode about the Mandalorian, and Grogu's back with him.
He's back with him. What was the other example you used, Stephen?
I think it was one you used actually, John.
Was it?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was now.
Well,
we might have talked about it actually. It might have been something to do with MCU. I can't remember.
It was Gamora in Infinity War. One of the most somber, emotional scenes in that movie. Thanos sacrificing his own daughter. Obviously, it's a sort of stepdaughter. He adopted her, but he was like the one thing that she was the one thing he truly loved. Him sacrificing her, the sort of sadness, the shock in her face, and then to bring her back in the very next movie.
Something away from that.
You
scene.
lose something from
and
it.
that's exactly this.
You lose something palpable when you go back and watch it. It's the same as Star Wars. You speak about Star Wars and Grogu.
Yeah.
You can say it's expensive fan fiction if you're being bitter. I personally do say it is, but The Last Jedi, the loss of Luke Skywalker, it removes some of the euphoria you get at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
And this
Anakin
young,
as
bright
well.
guy, Anakin,
Yeah, his
young,
legacy.
bright guy, has got his whole life ahead of him. You know what he becomes. He becomes this embittered old man on his own, and then he dies on his own. That's tragic. And you mention Anakin, he sacrifices everything. The most evil man, potentially second most evil man, reverses it, comes back to the light, and it's all for fucking nothing. This is the danger you have when you're moving forward 10 years, 5 years, 7 years, and bringing an important character back, reintroducing them into another story.
Somehow, Palpatine came back.
Yeah,
I think it was Oscar Isaac. I had to say that. Yeah, he's just shaking his head.
I look back at the press releases and stuff, the interviews, and they're dead in the eyes, man.
Yeah, even Tony Daniels. That's saying something,
Boyega, Daniels, Isaac, they're dead in the eyes. They can't even get themselves up. It was Stern, you're right in the face back then. That's the danger, but there's also the chance that it could fucking reinvigorate the story. It could add another level to it.
That's it.
Geek Leisure says, I personally don't think Deadpool 3 will damage Logan. Ryan and Hugh addressed it. This is not in the Logan universe, and this movie is its own continuity. Yeah, we kind of spoke about that before. It's going to be a variant. It will be a multiversal. We're in the middle of a multiverse storyline just now.
The angle we were going for, Geek, was more the sort of emotional impact it had for the audience and for the actor. You know, the swan song of Hugh Jackman playing the character in Logan, and that being taken away, rather than obviously the continuity of the character, because we've talked about it on movie news shows for the last 2-3 years. Looking forward to seeing who's going to step into the shoes for the Wolverine character in the MCU eventually. So we accept that. You know, it's not going to, when they bring that character in, it's not going to have any effect in the sense of emotion with the fan base or the actor Hugh Jackman when they do introduce the new MCU Wolverine eventually. But horses for courses.
Steve, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll handle it right.
Yeah. John, I was looking forward to it anyway, even before Hugh Jackman's involvement.
Ryan coming in.
Yeah, Deadpool's, the first two movies were first class.
They were.
Were perfect, you know.
Steve,
in every way.
They were.
Yeah.
But I mean, time will tell.
Yeah.
It's always dangerous when you start introducing someone who's been so synonymous with a role for over 10 years into another universe, another studio, a completely different form. It could tarnish, but personally I trust Hugh to know the character, know his legacy better than anybody.
Yep.
And if he's decided he wants to come back one more time and play this character in this movie, excuse me, he must realise that there's something truly great in the script, and it's fucking working with Ryan
Reynolds. Put it this way, I don't think Hugh Jackman has been browbeaten by Ryan Reynolds.
No, if he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't do it.
Exactly. And I think he's maybe asked him a few times and he's went no. I think he's saw the idea, the concept for this third movie, and he's liked it. He's liked what's happening.
Some people are speculating this will pick up immediately after Deadpool 2, and the Wolverine that shows up is a variant X-Men Origins Wolverine. And the end credit scene, and that end, yeah.
I actually like that end credit scene.
That was fucking brilliant, wasn't it? That was good. Steve, look, there's so many concepts you could go down a rabbit hole with for this movie, where they could go with these two characters. I'm personally, my heart's still rooting for the mismatched buddy road trip thing.
Yeah.
With him and obviously Wade together. Just the Steve, man, I mean... I liked Hobbs and Shaw. I loved mismatched buddy movies. Nice Guys as well. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
When they're done right, they are absolutely hilarious, man. They're brilliant. And introducing this to the MCU that I'm aware of, it hasn't been done yet. This is the best combination you can wish for.
What the Falcon and Winter Soldier should have been.
Yeah, it should have been mismatched buddy.
That's what I was expecting. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan and the press junkets fucking hilarious, going after each other. So I just hope it's not a situation like that for F1 fans. The combination of Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris was another one. Two funny guys, kind of back and forth, slagging each other off. Great chemistry. He moves to fucking McLaren and it's dead, flat as fuck. Takes them like 2 years to get some form of sort of coherent relationship together. You don't want to see that happening in an actual movie setup again. So, but man, I trust these two guys. Are fucking hilarious guys. They're brilliant guys, the two of them. And the passion for the two characters, two different characters, they're like the yin and the yang, the characters. But that passion is there from the two actors for obviously Deadpool and Wolverine respectively.
Yeah.
They will not produce something just out of, I don't know. For the sake of it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be forced. There will be real love, real blood, sweat and tears put into making this the best thing it can possibly be. I'm really fucking looking forward to it, man. I really am.
Can't wait.
But they asked this question to you. I'll bring this up briefly, man.
Yeah.
Dual fucking browser. Click this up. Is that something you think could work? What did Deadpool and Wolverine do to a potential Avengers lineup? They also asked this question on this website. Does this all set up Secret Wars? I don't think it sets up Secret Wars. I don't think it leads to any Avengers lineup. I still have a hard time seeing Deadpool in the Avengers for the reasons we mentioned about 10 minutes ago. It's one thing Feige and Ryan Reynolds saying this is going to be R-rated. He's going to be an exception. That's all right in self-contained Deadpool
I'm not
movies.
Like this Robert Downey Jr. return, Natasha Romanoff, Steve Rogers return. Get that to fuck. Yeah. I'm not even want to see that. Listen, Secret Wars, make that fucking animation because I'm not watching it.
No, but say Natasha Romanoff returning. No, that's not going to happen.
I don't want that shit.
None of this is going to happen.
No. See, this was my fears, John, when they talked about this multiverse, what the possibilities can mean. I get fan service, I get it, but as for a narrative, I don't think it's a good idea in terms of basically what we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes is taking the legacy away from these characters, their endings, their emotional endings to these characters, and then just bring them back just for as variants. Even as variants, I don't want to see. I just don't. John,
does that continue into Wolverine though? Because he will definitely be a variant Wolverine.
I don't care about that though, because the Logan is from the Fox universe anyway, so any version of Wolverine coming in that's played by Hugh Jackman, it will have to be a variant for it to make any sense. Yeah, I didn't like the stuff they did in Doctor Strange 2 with John Krasinski and Patrick Stewart. I thought I would have loved that.
The Rambo version,
and Captain Britain. I just didn't like it. It didn't sit well with me. I thought
you weren't in for What If either, though, Steve. You just weren't having What If at all.
Like that.
And again, I was watching John Campea yesterday, and someone asked him to rate sort of TV shows. He rated What If pretty poorly. Wasn't having it. Just a self-contained movie about Wolverine and Deadpool going on a road trip to go to Jean and Cyclops. Jean, fucking Sean. This is me starting off the cliff. I took paracetamol before I came on. Jean fucking Grey and Cyclops' wedding and the good ending future timeline of Days in Future Past. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? This is what you've got though. You've got so many fucking possible outlets in terms of story, narrative. Even with a mismatched sort of buddy road trip movie, the potential is enormous. Yeah. It's just where they go with villains, man. I mean, we'll get more and more about this movie. This movie's 2 years away.
That whole paragraph thing, John, that I'm looking at now is burning my eyes. You've got Louis Ferrigno in there from the fucking 70s. Hulk coming back. You've got also you've got fucking Wesley Snipes. Fuck off. Can't do that.
I ain't got fucking Mahershala Ali's blade in this MCU universe yet, and they're bringing fucking Wesley Snipes back.
No, see, you can take it too far.
You certainly can't take it too far, but they're posing all manner of questions. I think the best one that caught my eye was the mismatched buddy road trip
self-contained
idea.
Just as you said, that's something that I would be on board with. There's something about the Deadpool one that he's already self-contained anyway, because he's such a unique character. He's nothing like anything else we've seen in the MCU, and probably nothing like we've seen in the Fox universe previous either. It's so unique that I think that's why when the first Deadpool movie came out, I was just blown away with it. I thought that's fucking excellent. I've not seen anything as good as this in this rating since Kick-Ass.
Yeah,
so
And again, that's another sort of similar character. It's breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And just all the hilarity. It's silly humour, but it just works. Yeah, I mean, it has to be self-contained for me for it to work. It just simply cannot. You cannot be combining that version of Wolverine with the rest of the MCU. It has to be something similar to what you mentioned, Stephen. Obviously, Peggy Carter, Captain Britain, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but done better.
Yeah.
Much fucking better. Because you're going to have another fucking Wolverine. You have to recast the character. He's 50 fucking 2 now.
We said
he's not got
we
10,
said 2
15
years
years
ago that it'd be a decade now. We're here in 2022 and we're still saying it's a decade. Thanks you. We said it back.
No, but Steve, like, we can't begrudge it. We simply can't. I'm just looking. I'm going to end it by saying I'm looking fucking forward to this movie. I cannot wait. I didn't expect the announcement. So short, on the heels of. I mean, I'm having a mare. There's a phrase I'm looking for, and I can't think of it. So shortly after D23.
Hot in the heels.
Hot in the heels.
Yeah.
That's the phrase I'm looking for. Paracetamol's raping my brain. Hot in the heels after, or hot in the heels of D23.
That's that.
Basic English.
Well done.
Is going. I didn't expect that announcement. You broke the news to me as you normally do, Stephen. Good or bad.
Yeah. I'm
if it's a
on social
death,
media,
if it's a death, you break it to me.
yeah, I'm that kind of guy.
You're you're the Grim fucking Reaper. Just about every. I think the only death I broke to you may have been a sudden morbid route we're going down. I don't know. Have I brought any deaths to you? I don't think so. No, Stephen breaks the bad news and the good news, and he sent me.
When I
last
see
night.
somebody's name trending, and if it's somebody I like, my heart just sinks.
Shivers, yeah.
I see David Jason all the time. I'm like, no,
He's going to die shortly.
Oh,
yeah.
no, that's going to be a sad day. I'm telling you.
He's
Love
not
that guy.
on
Love
for
him.
this world, sadly. He's got a little bit longer. But you broke the news and I was delighted. I watched the video. And just going to the last thing I'm going to say, I do fundamentally believe it is symbolic that Ryan has broke the story. It's not part of the Marvel channel, the Disney channel. It's completely separate. I think that's something
Do you know, it's
very
always
pertinent to the character. He's
you're sitting
separate.
there, John, and you're absolutely right. But I had that crossed my mind last night when I watched that.
It's not
Does
fucking
fucking
real.
Kevin Feige know about this?
It's just when
Because Ryan's he's so
it's the raised eyebrows.
Yeah.
He's the fucking master at subtlety. Hugh walks by with a fucking apple or something in his hand.
upstairs.
You fancy doing the character again? Yeah, what was it he says? Yeah,
why
okay,
not?
or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And he's just a little fucking raised eyebrow at the camera. It put me in mind of the trailer or something like that, the announcement. He announced that he was joining. I think he had the fucking suit on or something. It was just great, man.
Yeah.
I love this character. I cannot fucking wait for Deadpool to come back. The hilarity of this guy he's brought to my life. You just cannot downplay it enough. Even the Christmas release when Disney took over Fox, that fucking
Fred Savage.
Nickelback
Yeah, I love that.
fucking trailer was amazing, man. One of the first things
Formatted
we
your
reacted to.
garbage.
It was absolutely fucking. He's just
It was
great.
amazing.
It's just a great character.
Yeah.
Again, my mind's going back to the tackle out, the tiny little legs. It's just fucking stupid. It's my kind of humour. It's just brilliant. So where this guy takes this character into this third movie, we're getting the intro again, is anybody's guess. I'm so fucking looking forward to it though. I genuinely believe this could be the greatest MCU movie ever released. Not Endgame, not fucking Winter Soldier. If they get this right, this is the greatest Marvel movie ever fucking released. That's the bar, Ryan.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Do you think No Way Home's the best though?
So far, yeah, for me.
You think that's the greatest Marvel movie ever?
Yeah, for me. Yeah.
No. For me, I would still say Winter Soldier. And then I'd
that's a
probably
good
go
film.
Infinity
Yeah.
War.
Yeah.
And then I would probably go No Way Home after that.
That's a topic of conversation for another time.
Yeah.
It really is.
That is, yeah. What's your worst?
It's
Still
Thor,
Iron Man 3?
No, Thor Dark World. Hated
Oh, you've
that.
not seen Love and Thunder yet then?
I've not seen that, but Thor Dark World was terrible. Just a terrible.
Just go and watch Love and
film.
Thunder, Stephen.
Yeah.
I watched it the
probably
other day.
something out of it, John, because I kind of half expect
No, it
what I'm
wasn't
getting into it.
Wasn't good.
You know,
Believe me, it wasn't good. You bring Christian Bale and this guy's a fucking Oscar-winning actor.
it must have some moments in it that were okay though.
Oh, it's got some
Yeah,
moments for
yeah.
sure. Certainly some moments. God the God Butcher. Kidnapping like 15 kids and keeping them in a cage. But allowing 4 to come in every now and again and sort of spectre form and have a little conversation with them. So what the fuck are we doing here, man? What are we doing? And then fat Russell Crowe. Oh god, it was fucking it wasn't good. And it pains me to say that.
Russell Crowe better off with Russell Grant.
You fucking were better off with Russell Grant. You really were. Russell E. Grant. That's his name, isn't it? Richard E. Grant. Fucking better with him. He was in the MCU, of course. He played Loki. Played a fucking variant, and he was very fucking good. But wait, man, I am gibbering. The paracetamol is having its fucking way with my brain. I am looking forward to this fucking movie. I'm sure you're looking forward to it, Stephen. Time will tell whether it does indeed ruin the legacy of Logan 2017, the movie, and the poignant sunsetting farewell for the character and Hugh Jackman. Time will tell whether it maybe invigorates the character, gives it new life, takes it off in a completely different direction. I'm going to love Logan no matter what fucking happens, and I'm sure I'm going to love this movie no matter what fucking happens. What's your thoughts though? What's your thoughts in the announcement that we're getting not only Deadpool 3, but we're getting one of Hugh Jackman coming back? You just know, I've just went off on a tangent again there, my brain's just immediately fucking Greatest Showman. You know you're going to get a dig. There will be real life digs at both. You just know you're going to get a This Is the Greatest Show or something. Something's going to be fucking slapped at the Greatest Showman. I cannot fucking wait to see it, man. I cannot wait to see what they do. What's your thoughts though? You can comment down below if you've got anything to say down below in the comment section about that, about the legacy of Logan. Where will it be in 2024 when this movie releases? Will it be greater? Will it be diminished? Will Hugh's legacy with the character be invigorated, diminished? Share your thoughts down below. 3:45 AM in India, yes. 45? What?
Yeah, half an hour.
Half an hour now?
They done as well. Yep.
Really? Fucking hell.
5.5 hours.
Well, that's, 4.5 hours surely.
I know that from the scheduling.
Yes, Stephen does know it from the scheduling. Yeah. Well, get back to your fucking bed. It's too late. Unless you're an early riser, in which case, get up and fight the world. Get back to your bed. I'm just going to my bed at that time, to be fair. 9 times out of 10. Which is why my eyes should be nipping out my head and I should be looking tired. Not Stephen. Well, Stephen's tired, it's late as fuck. Anyway, on that note, share your thoughts down below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs for future content like this. We do reactions, watch-alongs, reviews. The full shebang. Well, we try to do fucking watch-alongs when YouTube and Disney don't fucking block the video.
And we try and break the news when certain Canadian doesn't do it for us.
Fucking no chance of that happening. It's his fucking job. Fucking bastard. It's not our fucking job. We have to wait until late as fuck. And even if we did break the news, Stephen, we'd still get Twitter views.
The joys of living on fucking...
a fucking shit-infested rock in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean that's 6 hours behind any meaningful news coming out of anywhere.
Yeah.
And now the economy's fucked as well, so thank you for that, Liz. You useless bastard. Fuck me. There's no need to stay in this country, ever. Just fucking leave. I'm going to fucking leave. I would go to Germany, but it's too fucking cold there, because Vlad's switched the fucking gas off. I don't know where to fucking go. Where do I fucking go? I don't want to go to America because I'd probably get fucking shot. I'm one of those unlucky guys. Canada, it's too fucking cold.
Join Ryan.
It's too fucking cold in Canada. It's too fucking cold. I've got relatives in Canada, Stephen.
Yeah.
I did. Are they still alive? I don't know. I've got some relative in Hamilton, Ontario, in Canada. But look, man, Twitch as well. Follow button, notifications button over there. You see he's doing it live over there as well. Regardless of what you do though, thank you for fucking watching us, and until the next time we are done, bye bye. Thank you for all the comments as well. Thank you Vinay Patel, Geek Ledger and Shabam. Lots of love. Listen, we love everybody that comes to the channel except for Massey, man. Bye bye. That guy was a fucking weirdo. Bye bye.